This is a study. This is a study. On the effects. This is a study on the effects of music and movement. Music and movement on memory. The purpose of this research is to help children's memory.
The purpose of this project, this research and study, was to see how does music and movement affect memorization on children. The importance of this research is that memory is what you and I base everything on it from. Where you left the keys last night, where your toothbrush is, where you're gonna get up on time, what time you had to go to the meeting. Memory is what we base our whole entire system on. And if you and I lack this memory, our day goes totally wrong. We gather 14 students at random from a first and second grade classroom, picked out 7 for each kind of group. We have 7 for the control group, 7 for the experimental group. They didn't tell either group what they were doing or what each other group was doing, and told them not to share the information with each other. After we had that covered, for the total amount of 15 minutes, we had each group. So first we started with the control group. The control group, same thing they do in the classroom. I talked to the teacher and we discussed what their ordinary thing was, or procedures were, to do a memory verse is what we chose. It was about 3 sentences of a memory verse from Psalms, and we had the kids go ahead, bring their binder to class. They would go ahead and write the memory verse after I had shown it to them, trace it, and draw a picture in correlation with this memory verse. It's something that the classroom teacher already performed in the classroom. It was interesting to find that after our first day of doing this, after 15 minutes, I asked the students to close their books, and all they could see was the paper or the color that they had done, the thing that they had drawn to help them remember, and to tell me the memory verse. Out of 7 students, 0 were able to tell me the complete memory verse. By the second day, you have more of them beginning to tell me. 2 of them were able to tell me the phrases, like for example, the first phrase to the memory verse, and the rest of the 5 were fighting through. But the third day, you have about 4 of them telling me the memory verse completely the way through, but stumbling through, and not sure, confident if they're saying it was true, and you still have about 3 or 2 still just going through the first phrase. By the end of the 4th day, which is a whole week process already because we skipped some days, you have 5 kids who can say it perfectly, and you have 2 who are still stuck with the same phrase.
According to research, Bach music is good for reading. The Lord's teachings are perfect. They give new strength. The Lord's rules can be trusted. They make plain people wise. Psalms 19:7.
The experimental group, we're going to be very careful that the only variable we change is what we're trying to look for. For example, we had to sit around the same table, we had them bring the same kind of memory verse, everything but what we were trying to control. And what we tried to control was, we chose Bach music. Why Bach music? Well, there was a research done very interestingly that demonstrated that Bach music brings our brain level, our activity of brain, to kind of like a neutral state where it prepares it for learning. So I chose Bach music to be played in the background, but at the same time I had the students come up with motions to the memory verse. For example, they never ever saw the memory verse. I just taught it to them once, and we went by phrase. And I told them, okay, what if the memory verse says, God's ways are perfect, or they make us strong, what do you want to do for that? And they came up with the motions. And it was interesting to see how their minds just triggered little things. And they said, oh, that makes us strong, or it speaks to us, it tells us, or the rules, they're great. You know, they came up with these motions that if I would have made them, it would have been tough for them to memorize. But because their own brain produced this, they could recall it easier. So after testing, we did the first day, 15 minutes, same amount of time. They did the motions, music was playing in the background. First day, all 7 of them could tell me the memory verse perfectly. By day 2, All 7 again could tell it, but this time they had more confidence in what they were saying. By day 3, they were anxious to share with me their memory verse, and they said it, but this time with more emotion. And by day 4, I mean, it was a joke. There was no reason for doing it again.
Did you know music enhances learning? No, but did you know movements enhances learning? This research can help you as a teacher to help us learn better.